Today I wanted to go over the top 5 weirdest Total War ideas I could come up with, for a laugh. By weird I mean stuff we would never expect, something really out there, but I feel could still work. One rule however, no fantasy titles, otherwise the list would be full of naked Shreks versus the Teletubbies. These games require serious engine reworks, but are certainly doable, and so it is clear, if I was in charge at CA, I would not do most of these, simply because they are all risky. This is just creativity. For the sake of fun, use your imagination. 5. Total War Pirates. Okay, so this should give you a good idea of how this list is going to be. I am not a pirates guy, but still, I've seen it mentioned a lot as an idea, and come to think of it, it could be cool to see, if done correctly. A game that instead of taking place over vast land battlefields, actually is focused almost entirely on an archipelago map, where the seas decide who holds the most power. The Total War formula would have to get adapted a little, but overall I think most of the features are there to pull it off. And to add, I think this is what sagas should have been. CA say it is a way to experiment with new features. Now, to be honest, it's not. That's just their selling point or justification for the practice. It's actually a cheap to make simple game that can pull in extra sales and show consistent yearly releases. But if they were actual experiments, that is what I would want to see. CA getting a weird and wacky idea and just running with it. And a Total War Pirates would fit that perfectly. 4. The recent news of Warhammer 3 having an 8-player multiplayer campaign has been met with praise, hype and excitement. But to be honest, I doubt the vast majority of those people are ever going to play it, and most certainly won't play it more than once. Total War multiplayer campaigns just don't really work. The niche player base, although passionate, is a very small one. This is to do with the engine and the style of gameplay. It is a single player game. But what if CA were to make a separate title that just focused on being a multiplayer campaign? Remove the end turn, have it play in real time, redesign the entire Total War formula so it is an entirely different game, and have it as a spin-off. It's a lot of work, but I believe a lot of work is needed if CA seriously wanted to expand into this genre, and having it as its own separate game and monetization system would be required for it to be a possibility. This is exactly their strategy in Arena. If you are going to do multiplayer, do not bother trying to poorly mould a single player game to have multiplayer. Make it instead from the ground up. 3. Mongol Total War is a very popular idea. However, as we are talking about weird ideas, then what about Horde Total War? Remove cities entirely from the game and have all factions as a horde. Instead of fighting for cities, they are fighting for resources, food, water, armour, and victory is achieved through uniting the tribes or holding enough prestige. Something to spice it up a bit, get a weird idea and run with it. Not Troy, where it was a get a weird idea and then try to normalise it with phrases like truth behind the myth. Just grab it, envision it, and go all in for it. 2. A Total War Battle Royale. Maybe a little too late to get onto that hype train, but I don't believe it is out of the range of Total War's capability. Not cartoony graphics, first-person modes and Fortnite dances. Not that. Taking similar systems from Arena, and maybe similar systems from my Horde idea. A free-to-play BR game, but moving around units, I think could work. Raiding villages for resources, hiring neutral troops that you meet along the way, capturing and securing castles to hold out in. Saving villages from raids for rewards, or maybe sacking them for yourself. Like Arena, but on a grander scale. A deeply strategic battle royale on a massive Total War map, with loads of unique and interactive features. If done right, I think people would love it. Some honourable mentions now. A World War I and II Total War are certainly possible and would also fit into this category. Only reason I did not list them is because I don't think they are out there and crazy enough. And to the zero IQ viewer out there, you have got to use your imagination with all of these titles. I am not saying World War II tanks should be lined up like Hastati. All of these ideas are here because they require a completely overhauled version of the engine. I see something more like a Hearts of Iron 4, Company of Heroes crossover. Still keeping the themes of Total War, but deep down, all of these ideas are completely different games. Last honourable mention, bring back Arena. That would fit into this category so perfectly. And now for number 1, Civilization Total War. I'm not talking Civilization games as we know them. Not warriors versus tanks in the late game or any of that, but an ancient world Civilization game. You start in the Bronze Age, you play a deep, long campaign, colonising and conquering new lands in the ancient world, and end at latest in the late Roman Empire. Maybe medieval, I don't know. So the systems of combat and campaign management remains the same throughout. A Total War that evolves through ages and allows the player a more sandbox experience to write their own history. All the glory and freedom of a Civ game, but using Total War's formula and battles. I'd love it to also, maybe, even allow the player to customise their unit rosters as they go. Imagine features from Shogun 2's Avatar mode in here. Design your own banner, choosing your own strengths and weaknesses through the ages. The only downside would be the lack of characters, but there'll be other stuff to look out for. That should, in my opinion, make up for it. And there we go, my top 5 weird Total War ideas. Let me know your own in the comments below. Again, I am not saying I really want these, or that I think CA should do them. For the sake of fun and discussion, however, I like them. And maybe this is what sagas should be instead. But sadly, I doubt we will ever see anything close to this level of creativity from the Creative Assembly. I have been MELKOR. Leave a like if you enjoyed, share with anyone you think may be interested, but for now, until the next one, Mel gone.